Sairam students, I hope all of you are doing good. Today's class is a continuation of our lesson, The Proposal, written by Anton Chekhov. Before we proceed with the lesson, a short recap of what we have completed so far. Basically, this lesson has three characters: Ivan Vasilovich, Shubakov, and Natalia. Now, Ivan has come down to Shubakov's house because he wants to settle down with Natalia, who happens to be Shubakov's daughter. On hearing this, Shubakov is very happy and he wants Ivan to meet Natalia. Now, when Natalia comes into the scene, there is an argument between Shubakov and Natalia, and they argue over the topic as to who is the actual owner of the oxen meadows. So the proposal is kept aside and they are arguing continuously. On hearing this, Shubakov enters the scene, and when Natalia tells Shubakov that he should tell Ivan who the actual owner is, Shubakov tells Ivan that this property belongs to him. Lomov, that is Ivan Vasilovich, tells Shubakov that he has all documents which prove that particular property belongs to him. And then he also says that, I'll take you all to court because he's so frustrated, he's so angry. Now Shubakov asks Ivan to leave the house and he also says, he should not return back. Lomov leaves the house, and then there is a conversation between Shubakov and his daughter Natalia, wherein Shubakov tells Natalia that Lomov had come down to propose marriage to her. On hearing this, Natalia is very excited, and then she feels bad for the way they behaved with Ivan Vasilovich and asks her father to fetch him back. The father is not happy. Shubakov is not happy at all. He curses himself. But when Natalia insists, he goes and he asks Ivan to come back. That is where we stopped. Now let's continue, students. Just keep a book and a pen handy so that you can jot down all the important points. Lomov. Lomov enters, exhausted. My heart's palpitating awfully. My foot's gone to sleep. There's something that keeps pulling in my side. So Lomov has come back. Okay, and then he's complaining that his heart is palpitating. Okay, the heartbeat has increased. Okay, and he also says that his foot has gone numb and something is pulling in his side. Natalia, forgive us, Ivan Vasilovich. We were all a little heated. I remember now. Oxen meadows really are yours. So now when Natalia, when she comes to know the actual reason why Lomov was present at their house, okay, she's trying to fix up everything. And then she says, okay, forgive us. Okay, we all were a little angry. And then she adds that, oxen meadows, they actually belong to you. Lomov, my heart's beating awfully. My meadows, my eyebrows are both twitching. So Lomov says that, my heart is beating awfully. It's beating very fast. And my meadows, he speaks about oxen meadows. And then he says that his eyebrows are twitching. They are shivering. Natalia, the meadows are yours. Yes, yours. Do sit down. They sit. We were wrong. So what does Natalia say? That, yes, the meadows belong to you. Sit down, have a seat, take a seat. And then she says that, we were wrong. Lomov, I did it on principle. My land is worth little to me, but the principle. So Lomov says, my land is, it's the worth of my land is very less. It's very cheap. But the reason I was arguing was principle. Principle is rule. Okay. Natalia. Yes, the principle. Just so. Now let's talk of something else. She says, yes, I understand. Principle, rules. Okay. And then she says that, okay, fine, let us talk about something else. She's trying to see to it that, Lomov forgets about Oxen Meadows and speaks to her, about the proposal, the reason for which he was there. Lomov. The more so as I have evidence my aunt's grandmother gave the land to your father's grandfather's peasant. So Lomov is in no mood to discontinue the conversation relating to Oxen Meadows. So he adds that this land, I have an evidence, I have a proof that my aunt's grandmother gave this land to your father's grandfather's peasant. Okay. Natalia, yes, yes, let that pass aside. I wish I knew how to get him started. Aloud, are you going to start shooting soon? So she also says, yes, yes, now keep that aside. Let's discontinue, discussing about Oxen Meadows. And then she talks to herself, I don't know, how to bring him to that topic, the topic of proposal. And then she is trying to change the topic. She asks Lomov that when is he going to start shooting? Lomov, I'm thinking of having a go at the black cock honored Natalia Stepanova after the harvest. Oh, have you heard? Just think what a misfortune I have had. My dog, guess who has gone lame. So over here, Lomo says that he is, thinking of having a go at is, to try something new this time. So he says that he wants to hunt the black cock, and that too after the harvest. And then he says, "Oh, have you heard? What a misfortune! What a bad luck! My dog guess. Okay, he has gone lame. There's something wrong with the dog. He's unable to walk." Natalia, what a pity. Why? So Natalia inquires as to what's wrong with the dog. Lomov, I don't know. Must have got his leg twisted or bitten by some other dog. Sighs. My very best dog, to say nothing of the expense. I gave Mironov 125 rubles for him. So he says, I don't know why, I don't know the reason how he has hurt himself. Maybe he has twisted his leg, or maybe some other dog must have bitten him. And then he says, he's my very best dog, and he has paid 125 rubles to Mironov to get him. Natalia, it was too much, Ivan Vasilovich. So she says, don't you think 125 rubles is too much? Lomov, I think it was cheap. He's a first rate dog. So Lomov says that, I think this 125 rubles is very cheap. He happens to be a first rate dog. First rate dog is a dog of a good quality, the best quality actually. Natalia, Papa gave 85 rubles for a squeezer, and squeezer is heaps better than guess. So now even they have a pet dog named Squeezer. So she says that Papa has given 85 rubles to get him. And then she compares Squeezer and Guess. And that's when the next problem begins. What does she say? That Squeezer is heaps better. He is much, much better than Guess. Low move. Squeezer better than Guess? What an idea. Squeezer better than Guess? So he just laughs it off. Okay, and then he says, oh, do you think Squeezer is better than Guess? Natalia, of course he's better. Of course Squeezer is young. He may develop a bit, but on points and pedigree, he's better than anything that even Volchansky has got. So she says, yes, of course, Squeezer is any time better than Guess. He's young. And she says that, on points. Now, what do you mean by on points? Basically, the features on which the dogs are rated. That is called as on points. On points and pedigree, the breed that he belongs to. He's better than even Volchansky has got. So maybe Volchansky must be a person, okay, who has dogs of the best quality, best breed. So she is comparing her dogs to Volchansky's dog. Lomov, excuse me, Natalia Stepanova, but you forget that he is overshot, and an overshot always means the dog is a bad hunter. So Lomov says, excuse me, Natalia, you're forgetting something. And what is that? That squeezer is overshot. Now, what's overshot? Basically, when your jaw, the upper jaw of the dog is longer than the lower jaw. Okay, so he says your dog is overshot, which means the dog is a bad hunter. Natalia, overshot, is he? The first time I hear it. So she says, oh, is he overshot? First time in my life somebody has told me that, squeezer is overshot. Lomov, I assure you that his lower jaw is shorter than the upper. He says, yes, I'm very confident that he is overshot. His upper jaw, I can assure you that his lower jaw is shorter than the upper jaw. Natalia, have you measured? Lomov, yes. He's all right at following. Of course. But if you want to get hold of anything? So Natalia says, oh, you're so confident. Have you measured his jaw? So Lomov says, yes. He's all right. When he has to follow someone, maybe he'll be very good at it. But if you want to get hold of something, if he wants to catch something, he will not be good at that thing. Why? Because he is overshot. Natalia, in the first place, our squeezer is a thoroughbred animal, the son of harness and chisels, while there's no getting at the pedigree of your dog at all. He is old and as ugly as a worn out cab horse. So, what do you mean by thoroughbred? Basically, thoroughbred is a well trained, okay, of a good quality. So she says that, my squeezer is a thoroughbred animal, and then speaks about its parents, harness and chisel. And then she says that, we don't even know your dog's parentage. Okay, and then she compares Guess to a worn out, a tired cab horse. Lomov, He is old, but I wouldn't take 5 squeezers for him. He says, yes, he is old, I agree, but I would not like to have even 5 squeezers for him. He's that precious to me. Why? How can you? Guess is a dog. As for squeezer, well, it's too funny to argue. Anybody you like has a dog as good as Squeezer. You may find them under every bush almost. 25 rubles would be a handsome price to pay for him. So he says that, I would not like to have, a dog like Squeezer, even 5 dogs like Squeezer. And then he says, Guess is a dog. As for Squeezer, it's too funny to argue. He doesn't want to even compare his dog to Squeezer. And then he says, Squeezer happens to be such a common breed that you can find it everywhere. And he says 25 rubles would be a handsome price. It's too much for your dog. Okay, even 25 rubles is too much for your dog. This is what he has to say. So we can understand that now next argument over the dogs has begun. Natalia, there's some demon of contradiction in you today, Ivan Vasilovich. First, you pretend that the meadows are yours. Now, that guess is better than squeezer. I don't like people who don't say what they mean because you know perfectly well that squeezer is 100 times better than your silly guess. Why do you want to say he isn't? Then she says, Lomov, I think something is wrong with you. Today you're in no mood of agreeing to what I am saying. There's some demon of contradiction. There's some devil inside you which is not allowing you to agree to what I am saying. Okay? And then she says, first you said that the oxen meadows belong to you, and now you are trying to say that your guess is better than our squeezer. And then she adds that I don't like people who don't say what they mean. Okay, she says that even you know that my squeezer is anytime better than your guess. Okay, but you don't want to agree to it. And why are you doing this? Lomov, I see, Natalia Stepanova, that you consider me either blind or a fool. You must realize that Squeezer is overshot. Then Lomov says that, okay, you think either I'm blind or a fool. But you also have to realize the fact that Squeezer is overshot. Natalia, it's not true. Lomov, he is. Natalia, it's not true. Lomov, why shout, madam? Natalia, why talk rot? It's awful. It's time your guess was shot. And you compare him with Squeezer. So she says, Natalia says, why are you talking nonsense? It's awful. It's time that, we should shoot your guess. And then you have the guts to compare it with our squeezer. Lomov, excuse me, I cannot continue this discussion. My heart is palpitating. So again, there's some problem that he can feel with his heart. And he says, I don't want to discuss. I don't want to continue further. There's something wrong with my heart again. Natalia, I have noticed that those hunters argue most who know least. So she's saying that you don't want to argue. You are arguing more, but you don't have much knowledge about what you are arguing about. Lomov, madam, please be silent. My heart is going to pieces. Shouts, shut up. Okay, then he says, madam, Natalia, please be silent, be quiet. There's something happening to my heart. It's going to get into pieces. And then he shouts at her and says, shut up. Natalia, I shan't shut up until you acknowledge that Squeezer is 100 times better than your guess. So even Natalia is very firm and adamant. What does she say? I will not keep my mouth shut until and unless you agree, you accept the fact that squeezer is 100 times better than your guess. Low move, 100 times worse. Be hanged to your squeezer, his head, eyes, shoulder. So what does Lomov says? That it's, your squeezer is not better, he is worse, 100 times worse. And then he says you can go and live happily. You can go and stick to your dog. You can go and stick to his eyes, his head, his shoulders. He was that irritated with Natalia. Natalia, there's no need to hang your silly guess. He's half dead already. So she says, oh, there's no point in, hanging your guess. He's already half dead. Why did she say this? Because he was very old. Guess was very old. Lomov weeps. Shut up. My heart's bursting. So Lomov starts crying and he says, shut up. Don't do that. Don't speak that way. My heart's bursting. Natalia, I shan't shut up. Enter Shubakov. Shubakov, what's the matter now? So when last time when they were arguing over oxen meadows, that is when even Shubakov entered, if you remember, students. Now again, when they are arguing, who enters? Shubakov enters and inquires. What's wrong now? Now what's the problem? Natalia, Papa, tell us truly which is the better dog, our squeezer or his guess. Again, she is asking her father to intervene and tell Ivan which dog is better. Is it squeezer who is better, or its guess? Lomov, Stepan Stepanovich, I implore you to tell me just one thing. Is your squeezer overshot or not? Yes or no? Then he again says, I beg of you, just tell me one thing. And what is that thing? Tell me, if your squeezer is overshot or no. Just answer in a yes or a no. Shubakov, and suppose he is. What does it matter? He says, okay, fine, even if he is. How does it matter? He is the best dog in the district for all that, and so on. He says that, in the entire district, my dog is the best dog. So even if he is overshot, it doesn't make any difference. Lomov, but isn't my guess better? Really now? And then he says, don't you feel my guess is better than your squeezer? Shubakov, don't excite yourself, my precious one. Allow me. Your guess certainly has his good points. He's purebred, firm on his feet, has well sprung ribs, and all that. But, my dear man, if you want to know the truth, that the dog has two defects, he is old and he is shot in the muzzle. So Shubakov, he says when Ivan Vasilovich, when Lomov says that don't you feel my guess is better? So Shubakov answers, okay, my precious, my dear, don't excite yourself. Let me explain. Allow me is let me explain. Then he says that your guess has certainly good points. He is purebred. Purebred is a result of unmixed breed. Okay, he is firm on his feet, he has well sprung ribs, well rounded ribs, but there's a catch. And what's the catch? He says that I want you to know the truth. There's something that you should know. And what is that? Your dog has two defects. And what are they? First is he is old, and second is he is shot in the muzzle. Muzzle is jaw. So students, we'll stop here for today and let's wait and see how this argument continues. What Lomov answers, what Natalia has to say. We'll see this in our next class. Now, students, along with this video link, there's another link wherein you have to click on and answer the questions given there. We'll catch up in the next class. Till then, take care of yourself. Sai Ram and bye bye.